Yeah, Coachella might have seemed cool, but I guarantee that Mamapalooza will be even better. So let's get hotter and smarter in 5 as we chat about our upcoming podcast festival. So I got the idea for Mamapalooza and a virtual podcast festival a little while ago, and it was just part of this creative flip in my brain. Sometimes I just have these ideas and I just run with it. And this was one of those where one day I was like, how fun would it be to have a virtual podcast festival with a lineup and everything with experts focusing on certain topics and having it be structured like a podcast festival where people can come learn from the experts. We can have some fun, creative materials like a cutie podcast festival ticket, a little lineup sheet. It was just part of my creative brain, and it was just creating this excitement within me, and I knew that I had to do it. So it was very fun to create. I'm so excited for it. I feel like so many of my friends right now are pregnant, are about to become pregnant, are learning about pregnancy and breastfeeding and postpartum experiences. And I'm in this world. So I feel like my bias, like my world bias right now, is that everyone knows about these topics because my social media feeds filled with pelvic health specialists and pregnancy and postpartum nutritionists and people focusing on the women's health realm that I'm like, oh, of course, everyone already knows this. But the more that I talk to friends and people outside of this realm, the more I realize how this education still needs to be shared on a public, on a societal level. So after coming up with the podcast festival idea, I knew immediately the topic. With the month of May coming up, that is the month of mothers. Here in the States, Mother's Day is celebrated in May. I'm not sure if that's everywhere, but I was like, you know what, spring, new beginnings, the month of May, we'll try and structure it around women's health and primarily like pregnancy, postpartum, sexual health, a lot of the topics that we're too afraid to talk about as women, and a lot of the topics that people learn maybe right before they're pregnant or during pregnancy, or maybe a little later than what they would like to. So I wanted to create this podcast festival for me, for all of my friends, for all of my patients, and for all of you guys, so that we can truly bring on some of these experts who are at the tops of their field and have worked with women throughout all walks of life, but primarily during this pregnancy postpartum phase, so that you guys can feel that much more educated in this whole like phase of our life. Or even if you're not planning to become a mom or want to even become a mom, hopefully you can learn more about this to learn how to support your friends who do want to become moms, or share these episodes with people who do want to become moms. I'm calling it Mamapalooza, but it really is for all women because I think it just helps us learn more about our bodies. A lot of these concepts are going to be focused on pregnancy and postpartum, but so many of the pillars that we talk about can be applied to a lot of different parts of a woman's life. So my hope is that if you are a new mom, a veteran mom, a mom to be, or a mom eventually, which is what I call myself, then you will join us for this podcast festival. We're going to have speakers from a lot of different areas of expertise. We have some pregnancy and postpartum exercise coaches and trainers who are going to come on. We have registered nurses, we have trained doulas, we have male and female pelvic health experts, we have researchers within the pregnancy and postpartum space. I have so many great people lined up. Anytime I've been conducting these interviews, I have just been so excited because not only am I learning from them, but I'm also so grateful that they are taking time out of their schedules, out of their day, in order to share this education with you guys and with all of us. These interviews have been so much fun, and I'm so excited for this Mamapalooza podcast festival. We do have a cutie little virtual ticket that I will leave the link below if you want that, because it's just fun. I wish I could send wristbands to everyone and really make this a community podcast festival throughout May, but episodes will be released still Monday and Thursday, but it'll be heavy on the interview focus. So different experts each week will come on and discuss different things about women's health, about pregnancy, postpartum, sexual health, labor and delivery, so many different things. So I hope you guys are so excited. If you have friends that are going through this phase, or people you know that might benefit from this knowledge, please share this and share these episodes with them and really just help us get that education out there, because I live in a biased world of pelvic health and of pregnancy and postpartum and women's health in general. But I know so many people who have questions on a lot of these topics. And my goal is to really bring up those hard-hitting questions on sex during pregnancy, on the guidelines when it comes to postpartum exercise, what supplementation is going to help me during pregnancy, and not only for my health, but also for my baby's health. What about breastfeeding? What can I do to help my breastfeeding journey? How can my partner support me during labor and delivery? We answer so many of these questions, and I'm still even interviewing. So I'm so excited to have even more expert interviews on, and all of the interviews coming up. I'm very excited to be able to share this, and hopefully a fun way for you guys as well in this sort of podcast festival style. So I hope you guys stay tuned. I'm so excited. Mamapalooza, the first real expert interview, will be out on Monday, and I am so excited. So with that, it's time to get hotter and smarter throughout May with our Mamapalooza virtual podcast festival.